What is happening, friends? My name is Mike. This channel that you're watching right now is Health and Wealth. Thank you for joining me today on this Friday edition of a HOOE conversation. The ETF symbol is HOOY. It is a follower of the underlying stock, which is Robinhood or Hood, HOOD. And today we're going to talk about how HOOE's been doing. We got a distribution coming up in a couple of weeks now, and what I'm thinking is going to happen for it. Also, just talk about the position itself, how it's done historically over its first about 4 months now, and what to expect for it in the future. If you enjoy the content, I hope you follow along. Hit the subscribe button, and of course, hit the like button. I would love to have you as a long-term subscriber of my channel. So first things first, I've got Twitter open over here, and I'm just taking a look at some of the different things on Twitter. Um, just kind of cruising around, searching HOOE, seeing what's on there. There's a lot of like good talk there. Here's somebody that wrote, "Imagine stacking 100,000 in Bitcoin, borrowing 30,000 against it, buying HOOE and collecting $3,000 a month." Well, why are they able to collect $3,000 a month? Well, the average payment is pretty high right now. Is that something that we should expect will happen long term? I would say no, but right now the volatility is very high. It is bringing in a very good premium, and the distributions so far have been incredible. We'll take a look at all of those coming up here for sure. First thing we'll do, we'll get to the personal stuff, and then we'll get to the business after. So I invested in HOOE. I only bought 16 shares of it because it was $69.02 per share. But that was a $1,000 or $1,093 investment in HOOE, and I only did that just over a month ago, I would say. And then since then, the share price has gone up a little bit here to $71.66. So I'm actually up $42.24 in share appreciation. Now, for me, I'm not a big carer of that share price. What I really care about is getting that distribution every 4 weeks, taking that distribution, putting it into something that I want to build up, and that's what I'm doing with this. So I'm taking that HOOE, building up my Misty, building up my Alti, but I've only had it for a month so far. So far, total distributions received in the US is $94. That's after tax too, by the way. So I've already been taxed my 15% on that one. And my realized return on capital is 8%. The reason I said realize is because I took that cash and I put it somewhere else. So I didn't reinvest it back into this fund. I can't remember what I bought. Misty. I think it was Misty with that $94 there, bought whatever, 4 or 5 shares of Misty. HOOE's total distribution so far is $16.69. You can see right below it here, it's only paid out 3 so far. There's a 4th one coming up here in August, and it is in group. Oh man, I always get this wrong. You guys correct me. I think it's in group C. Could be in group B. Maybe I should know that, right? I always forget, but not the end of the world. Or is it the end of the world? You guys tell me below. So that's what's going on so far. I'm excited about this next distribution coming out here. Here's my passive account, by the way. We can take a look at that HOOE. Let's go back to July here. There it is, 129. Oh shoot, has it paid me twice? I didn't realize. 129 Canadian. So that's probably around $80 US. So maybe it's paid me 2 times so far. So I gotta update that sheet, right? I'll go investigate that down the road here, but should be getting another payment here in August. A little personal stuff. I want to say thank you to all my members for joining my membership here on the channel. Currently at 17 members right now, which is really, really great. I have one gifted member here. Thank you to Justin Sports Cards for gifting Knoxville, one of the most loyal subscribers to my channel here. But Stinkin' Rocket is my latest member with the ultimate supporter. As Stinkin' Rocket said, when you're a whale, you watch the channel, you pay $10.99 a month to support the YouTube creator, which is me. So Stinkin' Rocket, thank you very much for that. And thank you to Justin as well. You guys are the ultimate supporters. Then we have Hamanta, Paul, Canadian Bacon, Nicole, Sean, Silver Fox. What do we got? Robert, Gavin, Paulette, Dan, Ray, Janine, Paul again, and Juan. Thank you so much for your loyalty to my channel and helping support the family. Really appreciate it. Let's take a look at Robinhood stock here. The stock symbol is Hood, HOOD. If we go ahead and refresh the screen, it's at $114 right now. It's had a really good last 5 days. They had a very good earnings. You mean look at this thing over the last month, last 6 months. Oh my goodness! And last year is just cooking, right? So very volatile name here, doing really really well. Hood itself here, or HOIE, sorry, that's ours. That's the yieldmax version. Let's go to the last 5 days of 7.85%. Really great over the last month, up 7.95. And, since it's come out here, which was May 8th, it is at 35% up, plus the distribution so far. So I'm really, really pleased with that. That's for sure. And I'm excited about the future of it. I went to Yieldmax's website here. You can see on Yieldmax's website, there's the 3 payments so far. What's your predictions for the next one? I think it's going to be in the $6 range. I actually think it might be a little more than the $6 range because they had such a successful last 3 weeks so far. We'll take a look at the options coming up here as well. If that's something you want to look at. How did I find that? I clicked on download all holdings right here, and it brought this sheet open right here. I haven't color coded it just because I just wanted to go over a couple little things on here. First of all, it looks like they closed out a couple of their synthetics. They had these synthetics that were doing amazing. And so I'm guessing we've locked in those profits here, which is really good. That's why I'm predicting over $6 again because of those two synthetics that they had before. They have a new one. It's all the way in October and it's at 105, right? So that's, a couple months away. Oh, it's hard to believe. October, a couple months away. They got the treasury stuff here where they kind of just hold cash in there to earn a little bit of interest. And then they got the calls down here. They have two different sets of calls and then different dates right on the end dates here. So let's go over a couple of them. Anything with a minus sign is the call. Anything without the minus sign is a credit call spread. So you can see that they basically add up to the same number. So the first one's 109. We just looked at Robinhood's share price as 114. So this one's not going to be working out for us. They did collect $1,359,300 in premium, but they're going to have to close this option today, and it's going to cost them a lot of money to close that, right? So they're not locking in that entire 1.35 million. Next one, 110, same deal here, right? So Robinhood price is at 114. So this one, they did collect all of that as a premium, but to close it, they're gonna have to pay money to close that. And then the third one, 112, same thing here. Okay. Now, what didn't really work out was they did credit call spreads, but they were a little bit too high here, so they didn't allow the share price to fly. But it still did pretty well over the last 5 days, as we just saw there. Then we also have this one here. That's going to be what for next Friday, the 15th? Yeah, next Friday, 115. Personally, I'd probably close that today. Although there's not a lot of time DK on that. They wouldn't make a ton of money on that, but looking at that Robinhood stock right now, this one's still over top of that $114. Oof, it's risky business, isn't it? They also have some other ones here. I'm guessing, these might be the synthetics right here. Let's see here. It's hard for me to tell. But I mean, there we go. You know what? No, it's not. So these are more for later on in the month here. Yeah, I don't love that they don't have the date sitting right there, but two more. And then there's their premiums. They made 481,600 and 503,600. I like the prices of those. They're still over top of the 114, which is really good. Then they got the credit call spread sitting down below here. And then yeah, there's the call and the put for the income from the synthetic. So Pretty cool sheet. Then they got a whole bunch of cash here just in case things get crazy. For example, this 109, 110, 112, they got to be able to close these and pay money. They need to have cash as collateral to, Citadel and all of these big banks that allow them to do these options trading. For example, I wanted to do my own options this earlier this week. Questrade wanted me to have $10,000 cash in the account and a margin account to be able to do a um, one cash secured put for a $9.50 strike price, $950. Questrade wanted me to have $10,000 cash sitting there just in case. So that's kind of what this cash is doing here for the just in case. We got one more really cool screen, in my opinion, to look at in this video. By the way, thank you so much for being here. Hitting that like button, hitting the subscribe button. I'm trying to get to 10,000, and I think we're going to be able to make it happen well before my goal, which is December 25th. But I think we can get this done before the end of September. But I need your help. All you got to do is hit that subscribe button, and you'll be part of the group. So what I've done is I've gone on to dividendchannel.com. I plugged in HOOE up top here, and I want to do a comparison between HOOE and Misty, but only a very short term, only April 4th till now, August 8th, right? So May, June, July, August. So what's that? 4 months in there. And so what I've done is I've compared it with Misty, and I'm going to go ahead here and I'm going to chart it with $10,000 invested into both. This is just so kind of activity here. And up top here we have HOOE with drip or without drip. That's what we're going to be looking at in this one here. Let's take a look here. Shares. Dun, dun, dun. All right, well, start date. May 8th is when HOOE came out. So this is going to be from May 8th till now. That's good to know, right? So the very top one here, HOOE's in kind of the black, Misty's in the blue, and you can see there's a massive difference here, right? So starting share price was $52.82 on HOOE. The end price is $70.65, pretty accurate to today's price. Your starting shares was 189, and if you were dripping, dividend reinvest program, if you're dripping, you would end up at 244. This is looking like it's going to allow us to do fractional shares here. And your dividend reinvestment was $16.70 in that short, brief window. Over on Misty, your share price was $23.54. Right now it's $19.33. Your starting shares was a lot more, right? Because you have more, the share price was lower, so you could buy more shares. So your end shares was way more as well, 563 in that brief little window. Your distributions during that time was $6.27. But you can see the total return here, everybody, was a massive total return on HOOE, 72.63% compared to 8.93. And I mean, this is just incredible stuff. Since May, if you put $10,000 into HOOE, you would have $17,263. Now, this is a very tunnel approach because, I mean, if we did the same thing with HOOD, which I can do right after this, you'll notice there will be a difference here. I think we should do that just to make sure we keep it transparent, right? If you invest in the underlying, a lot of these cases, the underlying does beat the yieldmax funds here in total money back. Let's find out if that's true today. But down below, if you chose not to drip here, not a massive difference here, but it is a difference, right? So if you chose not to drip here, you're what's the math on that? Like $800, whatever, $700 more if you did drip. And again, it's only been a couple months on that. Let's do it with HOOD. Okay, let's do it with HOOD and do the same thing. Oh, look at this. So, I mean, check that out, everybody. If you had have invested the same $10,000 into HOOD or HOOE, HOOE is on the black here and HOOD is in the blue. So you can see Robinhood would have beaten your investment into HOOE, even with the distributions being redistributed or dripped back in. So if you ever want to check this calculator out, it's called dividendchannel.com. You can kind of take a look at a comparison between anything that you want to compare, and it's going to give you a little bar graph like this. I think it's pretty cool. Be sure when you do it, though, you enter in the specific dates that you're looking for, because, it could differ, or it could change the approach that you're looking to do, right? So make sure you put the right dates in there. So for me, Hui's been a total winner so far. I'm so happy that I did choose to spend that $1,000 on this investment. Of course, hindsight is 2020, and I wish I had invested more, but I'm not planning on investing any more into this fund until I get to my goals of 500 Misty, 1400 Alti. And at that point, maybe then I'll go ahead and start investing more into the other funds, which I have is HOOE, Nvidia, Coney, HHIS, which you can barely see on the screen right now. These are the other funds. And so until I get to the maximum of 500 shares with Misty, 1400 with Alti, I won't be investing any more into these funds over here, just to make sure I capitalize on the ones that I really want to capitalize. But I'm excited about the future of HOOE here. I can't wait to see what the next distribution is. I'm hoping for more than $6 again. You can see here's the $3.30, $6.50, and $6.89. Because of the success of those synthetics that they had that they've closed, plus their weeklies, I feel like it's going to be above the 689, but I could totally be wrong. It's a complete guess, but it's fun to guess. What do you guys think? If you've been following along with HOOE, what do you think the distribution is going to be? Remember, it's still a couple of weeks away. Weeks like this doesn't really help us because the weekly calls have gotten blown out of the water. So tough to really say right now, but it is fun to think and to imagine. Let me know what you think below. Thank you so much for hitting the subscribe and the like button. My name is Mike. This channel is Health and Wealth. Have a great day. Bye for now.